only reason why I got a license plate on my vehicle is for you guys, not me. I guarantee you, you bring me back in your system, you will never get my fingerprint and you will never get my signature. That's the foundation of their system. That's how they create commerce or charging accounts. Because again, charging accounts, listen to it.
Are singles like this? Yeah.
ABC Abracadabra, my pupil once told me when I was a child, and she says, you know what, English will never have the same force and effect as our dialect. And for the longest time I couldn't figure out why. And I tried to translate the native language to English. And I recognized the difference after years and years. One thing is, the older dialects of the world, the reason why ABC can't produce it is it comes from the heart. ABC, a totally different vibration. That's where the world lived off, was the heart. Now we live in the mind. We live in fear. We live in victim stance. That's what the system has created. This is my land, that's your land, those are those guys' land, and we got to defend it.
We can fix that.
That's what the system created with the ABC. They divided every one of us. Our forefathers were one of the last people in the world. I mean, you guys, I know there's a lot of people that travel the world here. The indigenous people of North and South America were the last people to actually, in full, get overthrown. Why? Because they knew. They seen for the years and years and years, they seen the systems happening over in so-called England, in Europe. I mean, our brothers and sisters, the white brothers and sisters over there, I mean, you take a look at the Frasians and the Anglo-Frasians. That's where, by the way, that's where English originated from. You take a look at those guys, they were burnt at stakes. That's your forefathers, burnt at stakes by the thousands. They had circuses while this happened. Now it's starting to happen over here. And a lot of our people are still victim stance, pointing fingers at your people and your people and your people, and they don't recognize we're all one. That's one of the things that I've recognized over the years. And I recognize the defacing of the so-called agreements. I mean, we never signed treaties because that's, again, law is based off of treaties. We made treaties for an agreement with one another. That's when a cop stops you, that's what it's all about, making an agreement with you. I don't make agreements with nobody anymore, other than the people that I can trust. And there's very few of those ones. You know what I mean? The system is here, and they're trying to discredit every one of us in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? They're trying to keep that separation. They're profiling right now. Well, guess what? My profile is big time. And you know what? I beat up cops in Kelowna. I beat up sheriffs right in the Kelowna courthouse. Guess what? You guys didn't even hear about that. You know why? Because they did. I used their own law against them. I said, okay, let's take a hypothetical question. I told the judge and Klinger and Sinclair and all of them. I said, is this me? I brought up a status card. I said, is that me? The judge was stupid enough to say yes. I said, thank you very much. I said, so does your law have standing in your courtroom? He said, yeah, it does. As far as I know, I said, thank you very much. I said, so case law has standing in your courtroom as well, does it not? Yes, it does. I said, then I bring up Nova Scotia versus Canada, the hotel...
Attorney General of Nova Scotia.
The Nelson case, the Hotel Nelson case. I said, neither one can delegate to one another. Provincial or federal can't delegate to one another. What am I doing in a provincial jail and what am I doing in a provincial court? They shut down the court right away. When everything started, I bought a birth certificate and a birth registration in the courtroom. It was that Takahashi, I remember. And I brought a birth certificate in the courtroom and I says, which one is the courtroom? You know what they wanted to do? They wanted to charge me for impersonation. I looked at them, I said, wait, you guys serious? I bring a birth certificate of your guys and a birth registration of your guys, and it ain't even the registration anymore. It's a banknote. I bring it in the courtroom, and you guys want to charge me for impersonation? They shut the court down real quick, and they hauled me off. I said, I was talking to Chapman. I was telling Chapman, and these are the judges. I told Chapman. He says, well, let's keep you up in Kamloops. I said, no, that ain't going to happen. I'll keep coming down here. Well, it's discomforting to bring you back from Kamloops to Kelowna. I said, I don't really care. So he looked at the prosecutor and he says, Mr. Prosecutor, is there any law?
Okay.
Prosecutor looked around and he said, no, there's no law. So they had to bring him back to Kelowna. So I came back to Kelowna and I was up against Sinclair. And right away I said, Sinclair, that's when I brought the status card thing in there and everything, and he shut down the court and he says, you're gonna stay up in Kamloops. I said, are you serious? Are you legislating right here in the courtroom? He jumped off the bench and disappeared in the Kamloops. They kept me in the video court up there. They kept me on video court up there. And every time I got up in video court, I says, hey you guys, I mean, why don't you guys tell the people, hey, what better crime than me beating up a bunch of cops and beating up some sheriffs? What better crime to let the public know that I'm a danger to society? I mean, sure, the newspapers want to grab a hold of this. You know what I mean? They look for any way to discredit you in some way, shape, or form. Divide and conquer, like I said, time and time again. We are now waking up as a world. We're recognizing the bullshit with the system or the colonial. That's one thing about English, like I said, it's magic. One thing I say when they say colonialism, I say cloning of the mind. That's where they want to keep us. And it's all about the heart. Everything is based off the mind in their system. Remember, we are waking up, and the system is going to stop. I guarantee you it. Have a nice day.
Okay.